One is that the Idaho Public Television really does have an opportunity. They've got a clientele that they service, and they really do have an opportunity to bring in outside money and to become self-sufficient. The other agency that you mentioned is we're actually clustering them now. Our intent is to get them as many as we can on the same floor of the Board building so that they can have one receptionist. And you have to remember, a lot of the clientele is for aging, for the Human Rights Commission, for the Hispanic Commission, for assisted living, for those 5, 6 agencies that we're looking at. A lot of them have the same clientele. This way it's a one-stop shop. They got one receptionist, they got one copying machine. There's just a lot of efficiencies that I think that we can get in there. In that consolidation, even though they live off of a lot of federal grants, we're not losing any federal grants.
Governor, how about Parks and Rec? You have a vision for that, but I understand you're giving the board and a chance to come back with a proposal to keep the department together. Right now, you want to shift some of its work over to lands and.
Right now, Rocky, you weren't here earlier. It's conception. We're saying, you know, where do missions actually weave themselves together? Where are they dealing with the same kind of assets? Where can you have similar administrative, insurance, personnel, all of those problems where you can actually combine agencies? And as I said earlier, that's where that agency came from years ago, was out of lands. But we have a lot of co-use of endowment lands, a lot of trails, trailheads, those sort of things, which actually would probably come under the Department of Lands that the Idaho Department of Parks and Rec would actually use. So there's a lot of constituencies out there that we've yet to touch base with. You got about 380,000 licensees that we've been talking to most of their representatives and seeing how we put it together. As I said earlier, you may have missed this. We also have to satisfy the state board requirements that we're not spending endowment, classroom fee, money that would go to the classroom on park ranging. We have to make sure that those accountings are bifurcated and isolated from each other, so that we're not violating the Constitution.
Governor, your State of the State address, you talk about with your new budget, you're making some sweeping changes in government. Not to be rude, but I heard some comments following your speech that people didn't see anything other than just cutting agencies. They didn't see anything really innovative. What specifically were you talking about when you made that comment?
Well, you know, I pretty well outlined a lot of those things. The combination of some of the agencies, our continued efforts to look at efficiencies. My holdback, quote unquote, is actually in the new budget that I submitted today. And so some of these things I've got to work out with the legislature if they agree with me or not. Now, I didn't consider you being rude, but I know exactly who you're talking about and what they're saying. And I would tell you, for 4 months, I sat down with leadership from both sides of the aisle. And I said, okay, here's the problem that we're coming into. What's your ideas? From this group, I heard, well, let's take a look at putting agencies together. Let's take a look at how we could, can we furlough some days? What are the things that we can do to build some efficiencies into our present revenue stream? From the other one, from the other side, I heard that we could raise 8 different taxes. Not one employee furloughed, not one agency combined, not one idea on how to make government more efficient. All I heard was how we could collect more taxes, and there was somebody out there that wasn't getting mugged, and we need to get out there and get that money.